Switch it! 30 seconds, switch it!
Goal for St George by 29, John Stamos. St George 4, Wanderers 3.
Hello and welcome to round 23 action of the National Premier League's New South Wales men's competition here at the Rockdale Linden Sports Centre. It's two sides that have been struggling for form in the last couple of weeks, but we are bound to have a great clash here on what is a cold and rainy night here in Sydney South. It's the host St George FC Saints taking on the former league leaders in the Western Sydney Wanderers. Two sides with plenty of movement on either dugout. Plenty of new faces in and out of the lineups. Plenty of new faces looking to impress as well. The Western Sydney Wanderers obviously with a bit of a rotated cast from the side that we've seen starring at the start of the season with some of the best young prospects in Australian football that we've seen in this competition for a very, very long time. Still missing a few of those players, but plenty of big names for both sides. Plenty of returning names as well. St George FC welcoming back their captain Troy Danaskos after he missed the last couple of weeks after getting married. So congratulations to him, but he returns on the bench. But there's a few changes to the lineup. New coach for St George FC, it must be said. As we just get to the lineups. But before we do that, it's very worth noting this weekend marks Indigenous Round for the Football New South Wales community, acknowledging and celebrating the First Nations history, culture and football. Indigenous Round leads us into NAIDOC Week with Football New South Wales First Nations representative teams competing on the 11th and 12th of July in the 2024 NAIDOC Cup. For more information on how and when to tune in, please go to footballnewsouthwales.com.au. It's a great initiative put on every year by Football New South Wales. The NAIDOC Cup brings plenty in the community out, and it's a great celebration of the First Nations people of this country, obviously leading into NAIDOC Week. So kickoff just about to get underway here at the Rockdale Linden Sports Centre. We've got another game going on simultaneously. The traditional hosts of this ground, the Rockdale Linden, taking on the Northwest Sydney Spirit. That game should be over momentarily, but we are just about to get underway momentarily here. And the Wanderers all out attack to start it. They are not messing around here. Good opportunity to start with. It looked like an air swing, could have been taken out, and the referees caught a free kick at the edge of the box seconds into the game. And you got to think if there was a bit of connection there, there was a very good chance that the Wanderers could have opened the scoring, and what would have been one of the fastest goals ever recorded in this competition's history. Very, very lucky to get away with that one. I believe it was Jaden Seedu, the number 27 there, but it's going to be the skipper, Ryan Hollingsdale, from the edge of the area. For some players, this is as good as a penalty. Hollingsdale's got 6 Saints to get over in this war. He's got options to his left. Ryan Hollingsdale finds the back of the net, and the Western Sydney Wanderers are ahead under 60 seconds into this one. What a crazy start to this game. Hollingsdale has left this crowd stunned. It is absolutely silent here in Rockdale. What a start. Even I'm stunned. I can't believe what I've just seen. The skipper, Ryan Hollingsdale, immediately strikes, and the Western Sydney Wanderers, the team that at the start of the season was scoring goals for fun, but they've dropped off in the last couple of weeks in terms of their red-hot scoring form, and just like that, they are ahead absolutely stunning scenes here. And St. George FC looking to go the other way now. The Wanderers recoup possession. We haven't even gotten to the starting lineups or what's going on around the grounds here. Just absolute insanity, really. Under. And a chance here for St. George FC. It's in! What a crazy start to this game. Not even 3 minutes have gone by and we've got 2 goals and the Saints level just as quickly as they conceded. You cannot take your eyes off this one. What a start to the game. Don't readjust your sets. This is one of the craziest starts to a game in recent history in this competition. And it was Jaden Casella, fresh into the lineup. Casella caught me off guard, in all fairness. Great finish, but with the first 2 chances of the game, we've had 2 goals. 3 minutes in here, it is 1-1. What is going on tonight? In the lead up to this game, having a look at both sides run in, it was a bit of a slug fest for them both in terms of scoring goals. St. George FC Saints only scoring 2 goals in their last 5 games. A lot of goalless games for the Saints in a tough run of form, which led them to part ways with their long-term coach, Jane Talsevski, the man who got them promoted to this competition at the end of last year. And this game just keeps throwing up surprises, really. The Wanderers are on the attack here again. There's a good chance through on goal, but it's shielded away, and it's going to go out for a corner by the looks of it. First of the game. So Mackenzie Siren in goals there. Shields that one out, and it was going to come to him, apologies, but the Western Sydney Wanderers on the attack almost straight away. It was Awan Luau, who's now unmarked at the back stick, and St. George FC defense quickly picking that up. And corner chance here. They've got 4 or 5 in the middle now, the Wanderers. Can they fire back and find their lead back? It's nice and strong there from Siren, and he gets to that one very quickly. Haven't even had a chance to catch our breaths here, really. This has been an insane start to this clutch. Casella, the goal scorer, trying to play his right back through there, but it was intercepted, and it was a good one in the end. And the Wanderers go the other way, but it's a good interception in the end there by Evan Souris in the middle of the park, alongside his skipper. He's been his skipper for the last 3 or so weeks now, Patrick O'Shea, replacing Troy Danaskos. So St. George FC Saints, their first game without Jane Talsevski. A few changes to the starting lineup. Starting off at the back, number 5, Nicholas Calageru. Number 6, the skipper, Patrick O'Shea. Number 7, Jesse Spang. Number 8, Connor Gwilligan through the middle. On the left, as Jesse Spang occupies the number 9 role. In number 17, Thomas Brown. Number 18 at the back, Mark Rodich. Number 22, Aidan O'Shea, makes a rare start. He's been a star off the bench this year for the Saints, but gets his chance to start tonight. Number 23, as we mentioned before, in the middle is Evan Souris. And number 27, Jaden Sidhu. Number 33, already on the goal sheet, goal scoring list today, is Jaden Casella. And number 99 in goals, it is Mackenzie Siren, replacing Daniel Axford, who played just about every single game this season for the Saints in goals, but under new management, things have changed. Casella's ball into the middle, headed away, and it's going to go out for a corner, and that's the Saints' first of the night. Siren's had a good start to it. At the back there, and he started that counter-attack there. Aside from the goal, not much he could have done there. That was a fantastic finish from Hollingsdale. Siren left him room in front of the wall, baited him to go there, and he just fired it past him, standing in the spot, wrong-footed him. We said before, those are just as good as penalties for some of them, as O'Shea's ball into the middle. Great header, and it's cleared off the line by Luau. That is a fantastic clearance, and he's going to go the other way and look for a counter-attack now. Sidhu, under a lot of pressure, heads it away, and it's only as far as Hollingsdale, the other goal scorer in this one. Long ball across, calls for handball, and it is called there. It's Dallo Sandy, one of the new faces in this starting lineup for the Western Sydney Wanderers, as we round out that bit of information there. So on the bench for the St. George FC Saints, returning their captain, it's Troy Danaskos, likely to feature off the bench. Number 9, Peter Grossos, and number 10, Harry Jones. Number 11, Anthony Morabito, all attacking options for the Saints off the bench. Number 20, Daniel Axford, the backup goalkeeper for today. And rounding out the bench for the hosts, number 37, Yakov Malbasa. As Rodic out to Siren. He's under plenty of pressure there by Luau. Slides in and wins the ball back, but it's going to go out for a goal kick. Plenty of positive signs from Luau to start this game. He's looking the good so far, Aowan Luau. So we can now get to the Western Sydney Wanderers side. And they are today coached by Richie Cardozo. And their starting lineup is as follows. Number 14, Luka Kanezovic. Number 16, Roman Kolina. Number 18, Awan Luau. Number 20, Tristan Vedakovic. Number 22, Jesse Cameron. Number 25, the goal scorer and captain, Ryan Hollingsdale. And number 28, Luke Neuenhoff. As the Saints under a lot of pressure there. Siren got underneath it and lobbed it away. And it's going to be a free kick for the Saints. And the first one of the game. Looks like in a bit of pain there is Jaden Seydou. Landed right on his back and he was in a Wanderers sandwich and he came out pretty gingerly from that. Might need to seek attention from the bench. As we round out the Western Sydney starting lineup, number 36 on the left wing is Dalo Sandy. Number 37 is Ricky Franson. Number 77, Philip Gigliotti. And number 99, rounding out the starters, is Ryan Devine. On the bench, a few regulars for the Western Sydney Wanderers NPL side. Number 1, the backup goalkeeper, Lucas Sinot. Number 3, Matthew O'Donoghue. Number 12, Lachlan Tilt. Number 19, Dimo. Number 23, Marcus Fernandez. And number 35, Can Nizam. All of which have gotten their chances in the starting lineup in weeks gone past. But Richie Cardozo, on the back of a few losses in a row, has forced his hand and given a few new names some chances in the starting lineup. And it looks to have worked here as St. George will win a free kick 5 metres short of the halfway line. So that is all the housekeeping out of the way. We can finally get into the action here. 10 minutes in. Crazy start to this side, man. We mentioned it in the intro to this game as Caligiero giving that one away. Free kick. Push in the back there on the number 99, Ryan Devine. Dallo, Sandy and Devine. Shorter link up there on the left side. Sandy kind of looks to be playing as an inverted forward on that left side. Luau leading the line up. We've got Hollingsdale pulling the strings in the midfield, and that's going to be another free kick. Back-to-back free kicks for the Western Sydney Wanderers, and that could be a card for Connor Quilligan. As our referee for today smartly telling Connor Quilligan, use your head, because he's pretty lucky to not have got a yellow card there. Apologies, and that is Mujtaba Ibrahimi. His assistant referees today are Arinath Gobinoff and Lachlan Hines. And our fourth official, who was in charge of the under-20s game, is Charbel Gia. Charbel was in charge for that game where the St. George FC came back from 3-2 down to win that game 4-3 as a long ball into the middle. Almost slipped out of the reach there of Mackenzie Siren, but he's quick onto it and releases Jaden Casella. But there's just not many options for the Saints going forward. There was about 6 or 7 Wanderers back behind it. And they win back possession. 10 minutes gone here at the Rockdale Linden Sports Centre. 1-1 between these two sides. Obviously, plenty of changes. Changes, a bit of a theme of both these sides at the midpoint of the season. Round 23. 8 games to go. It's been a long season, especially for the St. George Saints. Flirting with that. It's a good little ball in the end there. Great whack at first time was Nicholas Caligiero. But never really troubled the Western Sydney Wanderers in the end there. He's Devine. He's sandwiched by a few. It's a risky pass. Quilligan back in the middle. Jesse Spang's shot was deflected away, and it's going to be a second corner of the game for the Saints. That was a very, very risky pass there from Ryan Devine. bad area to do it, but that is credit to the Gagan press off-ball pressing that the St. George Saints have implemented in the early stages of this game. And Patrick O'Shea lining up his second corner of the game. He's got 4 options in the middle and 1 lurking at the back. O'Shea's ball in, finds the penalty spot, headed away, and just past the reach of the back stick there. Another shot fired there by the St. George Saints. It was a good header in the end there. Got very, very good contact on it. Had everything going for it except the back of the net bulging, really. The weather's held off for the time being as well, which is good news for everyone involved. Don't want rain here, especially in our commentary position. A few holes in the roof here, so don't want to be calling this one wet, that's for sure. As we quickly go around the grounds, the Northwest Sydney Spirit 1-1 with the league leaders, the Rockdale Linden. The hosts, traditional hosts of this arena, obviously at Christie Park, better known as the Arctic Circle this time of year, how cold it gets there. But Spirit down 2 men, 9 men against the 11 of the Linden. And it is 1-1 as that game heads into injury time. Crazy, crazy stuff going on today in this competition, really. And obviously last night, we had Hills United scoring a massive, massive victory over Manly United at Cromer Park, the only game of the Friday night. It's strange. Usually we've got a full slate of games usually on a Saturday night especially. We've got St. George City kicking off momentarily as they host Sydney FC at Penshurst. Switch over to that if you wish. Should be a cracking game there as well. 2 sides that are very, very good in front of goal. As these 2 sides have proven, throwing the stats out the window really in the early stages of this one. The Saints behind the 8 ball to start with, but have really looked like the better side as this game has gotten going. Sandy now fires it across, and that's Ricky Franson out the back. Franson joined by Roman Kulina as the 2 centre-backs. Devine, apologies, as the left-back tonight, the number 99. Luau leading the lineup. He's had a good chance at it already, Awan Luau, and he showed plenty of great energy in the early stages of this game. Quick early ball there. It's intercepted by Casella, but Franson's first to it. A little challenge there from Jesse Spang. Referee's happy to play on, and it's going to fall perfectly in the advantage of the Wanderers here. Philip Gigliotti on the right now. He's got a bit of attention to get past now, and he certainly does attract the attention of any defence that he goes against. Franson sends Spang the wrong way. Spang getting his chance up top. It's been Connor Quilligan for the most part of this season leading the lineup, but he's reverting back to a number 10 role today, which he has done in years past. He really can play anywhere across a front 3 and even the 10 position. Remember his days at Sydney Uni in 2022 in the Football New South Wales League 3 competition as it was back then. Try to help his side get promotion, obviously unsuccessful there, but he's been a standout. He was a standout in that competition. He's a standout in this competition as well, everywhere he goes. Connor Quilligan on the ball now. Can't get past the touch of Hollingsdale. Now it's played out wide to Sandy. Not in a rush to get rid of this one, Dallo Sandy. Switches it across. It's Gigliotti now. Knezovic waiting in the middle. They're happy to play it back. Played back now. Just a simple pass to Kalina. Kalina's got Devine. But the curl on it's going to fall perfectly there for Mark Rodic. And a great save there by Jaden Casella. Only as far as Sandy Darlow, though. And O'Shea, wayward pass. Goes into the path of Luau, but he's done well recovering there. Patrick O'Shea leading by example there, the skipper of the St. George Saints. Spang's pass was a good one in all fairness. I think it just wrong-footed Evan Souris as Hollingsdale goes down. Referee's happy to play on, and the Saints will go the other way now. Aiden O'Shea safely playing it back to Nicholas Calagero, and he's one half of one of the more deadly fullback combinations in this league when Troy Danaskos is there. Them two really crucial to everything that the Saints are doing going forward and have been doing going forward. As a simple little back pass there from Jesse Cameron almost didn't work out well there, but luckily he's got some composed heads in the back there, and there's plenty of trust out there as Hollingsdale going to get this one out of a tricky situation. Faking the pass, and Jesse Spang was there. Tempting fate, the Wanderers, really. O'Shea intercepts it, but it's out for a throw. Devine back to Franson. Gigliotti's making the run, but Jesse Cameron just reverting possession for the time being. Interception, Spang, low-driven shot. Had a little bit more time than he expected there, Jesse Spang. Turned and shot, and in the blink of an eye, fired his shot just past the front stick there, and another warning shot fired by the Saints. Their fourth shot of the game. It's the Wanderers playing a composed style of football. It is a pretty pleasant style of football to watch coming out of the back, but the Saints are relentless pressing. You see O'Shea and Calagero and Souris it was working hard to try and disrupt that one. There's Sidhu on the left, Calagero here on the right. Not too much of a change, just caught me out a little bit. I think Danaskos not being there is just a little bit throwing everything out, really. It's just crucial to everything they do, Troy Danaskos, and he'll be a welcome addition off the bench when he comes on at some stage today. Casella's been put through here. He's one-on-one, but that is a pretty heroic save there. And Jaden Casella has looked really good in the opening stages. He obviously had the Saints' only goal so far, but made plenty of darting runs down the right. Devine has had just looking a little bit too eager in attack, and Casella's noticing that. Although Casella has had to drop back to help defend that overload on the left side here, closest to the western touchline. But as a result, they can be caught out like that. They got caught out like that for the first goal and almost got caught out again, but it's Hollingsdale the other way now. Darlow plays it out wide. Gigliotti, first time ball. It's in the middle there for Knezovic. But the other way now, it's Casella. New combination on the right for the Saints. Spang looked for the flick, but he had Kalina there for company, and Calagero will have to reset for the Saints. So Knezovic almost had his chance there, and he's almost playing as a false nine alongside Luau. Not having to do too much defensively because that midfield combination starring the captain Ryan Hollingsdale is doing plenty of work. Patrick O'Shea is another man doing plenty of work. So Aiden O'Shea recovers his captain's pass. It's Calagero now. Mark Rodic. So usually joined for company by Kaya Degordo. The veteran defender not in the matchday squad today. One of 4 changes that this fresh-looking St. George FC Saints side has made as that long ball try to pick out Jaden Casella, and this skippy surface, due to all the rain that we've had over the past couple of days, not helping the case as Devine trying to push his luck and push that. Throwing a couple of meters extra on where he went, but Devine with the long throw tries to pick out Luau, but it's a poor touch in the end there as he works hard to try and put Rodic off his game, but it won't work. Mark Brown. Quick little 1-2 play there with Calagero and Quilligan, and his header's not the desired one. It's another throw on the right side here for Ryan Devine. First time clearance. Trying to find the header Luau, and it's Rodic first to it. The Saints recovering possession, and there's an urgency there, attack, and Quilligan gives it up again, unfortunately. You'll want to relive those last couple of minutes, Connor Quilligan. He's been one of the Saints' best this season in attack. Just provides that little bit of X factor that they've been in desperate search of, especially in these last couple of games, and even more especially without Troy Danaskos in the squad. As we have full-time Rockdale Linden, they always find a way, and in the dying seconds of that game, they've stolen a 2-1 victory away from the Northwest Sydney Spirit, meaning their lead at the top of this league is extended to 12 points, with the Marconi Stallions still to play tomorrow. Apia Leichhardt still with a couple games in hand, but they sit 13 points behind now. And the Northwest Sydney Spirit dragged back into the relegation battle. They're not out of it yet, as aren't the hosts here today, the St. George Saints. Currently only 5 points off that 15th slot, and they know that all too well how that can play in the favour of the League One side coming up against the incumbent NPL side that finishes second last in this competition. You see victorious over Mount Druitt Town Rangers across that 2-leg playoff last year. So they'll want to avoid that at all costs, but that's a pretty interesting battle at the bottom. You've got the Central Coast Mariners currently occupying that spot in 15 points, and ahead of them is the Sutherland Sharks, but the Mariners still with a game to play. There's a little push and shove here between Devine and Casella. And Devine's done really well not to react there. Credit to the young lad there. See, a lot of times those can boil over into something more, but Devine just walking away and getting back into his position. So just rounding out that little relegation scrap as a good little stop there by Franson. Playing it out to Kalina now. So Sydney FC and Hills United tied on 21 points. Sydney FC with 2 worse goal difference, meaning they are within striking distance of falling back into that 15th slot. And then the St. George Saints just 2 points above that, 23 points. Ball in the middle here, Hollinsdale, great save, follow up from Luau, and it's just gone wide of the back stick. Goal kick. And the Saints get a get out of jail free card. Hollinsdale pushed forward again, showing his attacking flair. It was a great stop in the end, but it fell perfectly into the path of Luau. He's had a couple goes at it already in the early stages of this one. Very unlucky not to find the back of the net there. It looked like Mark Rodic kind of had that back stick covered, but when a shot comes in at that pace, I don't think there's much you can do to stop that, as Mackenzie Siren is living proof of that. He had that back stick covered in the opening stages. But Ryan Hollinsdale just rifled one past him, and sometimes there's just nothing you can do about it. The Saints, can they grab a second here? Quilligan out wide to O'Shea. Resetting now through C2. Very versatile Jaden C2. Play just about anywhere, and he has over the last couple of weeks, really. Quilligan switches it. Casella had a perfect run through, but Kalina's header stops it. And now the other way is the Western Sydney Wanderers through Sandy. Quick play out the back, and now it's with Jesse Cameron. Gigliotti, early ball through. Luau couldn't get a touch onto it, otherwise he had a one-on-one there with Siren. That's an unfortunate end to that attack for the Western Sydney Wanderers. Moments ago, 2 shots at it to go back in the lead. And then the Saints fire back, really. It's been a pretty back and forth game. Got to say the Saints probably looking the more likelier. They've had more chances, while the Wanderers are just sitting back and picking their chances on the counter-attack. Very fast-paced game from both sides, however, so if you're a neutral watching this, I'm sure you're enjoying this. We're rugged up and warm, a lot warmer than we are here in Rockdale. On the attack now, Calageru. Quick little 1-2 with Casella, and it's back now through the right winger. Cuts in on the left and calls for Sidu. Sidu now got underneath it, and not sure if that was a cross or a shot. Either way, it's worked out well for the Wanderers, and it's going to be a goal kick the way of the visitors. So Luke Neuenhoff in the middle there for the Western Sydney Wanderers. New midfield combination from side that lost 2-0 to the Wollongong Wolves last week. Long ball through to Luau, but Mark Rodich seems to have this covered, and he's got plenty of faith in Mackenzie Siren to get rid of this one. Luau's chasing him, but Siren, first time, long ball through to O'Shea, and almost shot himself in the foot there. Inadvertently, it must be said, because he went up for that header, and it fell perfectly for someone in that position, which he would have had. Kind of see the effects of this high-pressing, fast-paced start on the Saints, just taking this moment to recover, essentially, and just kind of get their breaths back, because the Wanderers have plenty of pace going forward, and they've been caught out a few times, on the counter-attack especially, so you don't want to be too tired chasing these young legs. The Wanderers got plenty of options on the bench as well. Richie Cardozo will be very likely to use some of those options. Going to restart something now. Franson, quick little 1-2 with Colina. Plays a short ball now to Darlow. He's caught up there with Neuenhoff. Gets it past Casella. There is Colina, but he's coughed up possession just as quickly, and Caligeru tried to play Casella through, and it was a great recovery there. Darlow Sandy it was down there on the left, putting in plenty of defensive work in the early stages of this game. Here's Cito. Back now through Rodich. Rodich with the early ball. Spang, first time, flick over the top. Casella looking for his second of the game. Jaden Casella, it's a great stop. Another stop. The Western Sydney Wanderers coming out on top there in a moment that very nearly could have been a second for the Saints. It was a deflection at first from Jason Colina, and the follow-up save was just as impressive. Even better ball, it must be said, from Jesse Spang. Did very, very well to flick that on first time, and Casella showing the pace. But now another opportunity for the Saints. Spang over the top, trying to find Caligieri, but it's headed away. Calls for handball, not given for now. And the other way, it's Darlow Sandy. Knezovic. Gigliotti. Looking to get past Cito. Long ball over the top, to the back stick, headed away. But only as far as Sandy. Devine with a quick one to Hollingsdale. Hollingsdale back to Sandy. And he gets past one and gets past Spang as well. And the Wanderers resetting. Just knowing that this veteran defensive lineup of the Saints has probably gotten the better of them at that time. And they're just going to reset now. And going the other way on the right side now is Jesse Cameron. Hollingsdale. Big fan of the outside the foot pass, the Wanderers. I wonder if that's been a little thing they've been working on, maybe with their man Christo out in the training park at Rudy Hill at the Wanderers Football Park. Knezovic can't get past Cito. Cito and O'Shea doing plenty of defensive work, but happy to pull their sleeves up and when it needs to be done. They love attacking Saints fullbacks. It's the way they play. It's been successful for them in years gone past, and it's shown promise throughout this season as Caligiero there, a bit out of position, and it was Casella who had to work back to cover his right back for the time being. Throw to Hollingsdale. His touch is a little bit heavy and he's coughed it up, and the Saints will get a goal kick now. I was about to say free kick. I was thinking, no, wait, that's a free kick. Okay, back to the action. So both keepers have had plenty to do. Tristan Vidakovic, apologies. I should say, Vidakovic. Had a great save there to deny Casella. Casella's been pushed in the back there by Devine, who is not happy there, Casella, with that one. They've had a pretty intense battle Devine and Casella. But the Saints getting on with it. No complaining there, really. Get straight on with it. Trying to catch him off guard a little bit. But possession's coughed up. Now Ricky Franson. It's been a thrilling first half an hour of action here. Thank you for joining us on the Football New South Wales YouTube page. Plenty of action going around this weekend, so we're very happy that you've chosen this as your Saturday night stream. We are hoping you're enjoying the action as much as we are covering it here. Plenty of more action to go around. Obviously, we had our couple of games gone already. Hills United with a 2-0 win over Manly United. And Rockdale Linden moments ago scoring a last-minute winner to get past the Northwest Sydney Spirit and extend their league atop of the National Premier League New South Wales men's competition. Extending that out to 12 points, obviously, with Marconi yet to play this weekend. They are playing tomorrow, heading up the coast to play the Central Coast Mariners. Obviously, that game, unsure if ground availability will be a factor there, but for the time being, that game is scheduled to go ahead. Central Coast Mariners versus Marconi Stallions at 3 o'clock. We've got 3 kickoffs at 3. The Wollongong Wolves hosting Sydney Olympic down the south coast, the other coast of Sydney. And in Sydney's southwest, we have our match of the round at 3 o'clock. Kickoff at the Sydney United Sports Centre. It's the host Sydney United 58. Hosting Blacktown City. It's fourth versus fifth in a match that could have massive implication for the finals, as both teams looking to return to the top of this competition, as they have done in recent times. Two of the most successful clubs in this competition's history, let alone the last couple of years. Obviously, Blacktown City, the last winners of the grand final the last time we played at Combank Stadium with a 2-0 win over Manly United that night. It was a really special night. Big crowd. Big support for the local community, Blacktown. And it was a special win there that night. See which of these two sides will get a special win here tonight, possibly. Casella has a go, but it's straight down the reach of Vidakovic. Never really in danger there. We see replacing Lucas Sinot in goals as that was Gigliotti's touch, a little bit heavy, and it's gone straight out right in front of the travelling support. The family and friends of the Wanderers, plenty of them out tonight, especially in the under-20s as well. The stands were absolutely packed for that game. And it was a predominant red and black feel standing in the stands for that one, the under-20s. Obviously, the Wanderers are up 3-2 with just about 10 minutes to go in that one. And St. George FC clawing back for a 4-3 win with the final kick of the game. John Stamos, not the actor, the under-20 St. George FC player, scoring the winner there. It's Casella with a very, very strong challenge there, trying to assert his dominance on Ryan Devine. Again, no reaction there from the young Wanderers. Left-sided player. Now Jesse Cameron. Colina, I should say, Jesse Cameron, on the right side of defence. Pretty similar mould between the two. Casella. Now through Calageru. Calageru, who has found the back of the net 2 times this season. Obviously hasn't been their specialty this year, the Saints. They've really struggled with that in the last couple of weeks. As we mentioned at the top here, Jesse Spang's been put through. He's 1-on-1 with Ricky Franson. Goes to the right. Jesse Spang first time. The deflection falls straight to him. He's got no options in the middle. Has to go himself, Spang, and it's a great double save there from Vidakovic. And they've held the Saints at bay for the time being. And that one you can almost single-handedly ride up to Vidakovic. Had a fantastic game so far. Both keepers and defences really coming out on top after that wild opening 3 minutes of play that we had. Now, on the other side of it, it's Mackenzie Siren looking to restart things for the Saints. Luau playing keep-ups with himself. Look to clear it away and possibly play Knezovic through. Wasn't meant to be, though. Now down the right, Caligiero did really, really well to keep that in, but flicked it up a little bit too high, and Devine happy to watch that one go out for another goal kick for the Western Sydney Wanderers. So Vidakovic picking this one up, and ball's live here. I don't think that the Saints players knew it. It was a quick taken one and a quick little 1-2 between Kalina and Vidakovic. Cameron, Frank, Kalina have had plenty of work to do, and cleaning up that one is that man, Jesse Cameron. But as have these two out the back here, Mark Rodic and Thomas Brown. Not every day you see a centre-back pairing wearing 18 and 17. And the 9 wearing 7 is Jesse Spang. Of course, the other 9 that wears 7 were playing here on an often basis. It's Alek Udashevsky. So not that uncommon when you come to think of it. Udashevsky obviously leading the NPL's Golden Boot race this season multiple times. Player of the Year, reigning NPL New South Wales Men's Player of the Year, Alek Udashevsky. He's scored plenty of them here this season. Season's gone past. Did it again tonight to level the game for Rockdale Linden, and he's going to go close again this year, you'd say, for Player of the Year. The Baker, he's got 25 goals this season. It really is unprecedented. No one's going to catch him at this stage, you'd say. There was one Wanderer who was leading the way for a good stage of the season, Nathaniel Blair, 13 goals to his name. Obviously been absent for the last couple of weeks for the Wanderers, obviously on a mandatory break, as a few of the stars of this team are, including the likes of Marcus Eunice. There was a few murmurs from the Wanderers coaching staff midweek that he could possibly return for this one. He was the only one touted for a possible return. Aidan Hammond, Zach Sapsford, Alex Badalado, a few of those other names that have starred, Adam Bulgaria as well. It's just some of the goals that they've scored this season. Obviously, in the early stages of the season, really scoring goals for fun. Nathaniel Blair led that Golden Boot race for a while. He's got 13. Bulgaria had 8 along with Marcus Eunice. Scored some screamers, got to say. We'll have a good little highlight reel to finish the season. Aidan Hammond, the former Central Coast man, also 8 to his name. Sapsford with 6, Badalado with 3. Hollingsdale's tally now up to 4 with that one. The man they call Pantho, the veteran centre-back of this team, if you will, with 2 goals. And Luau bagged a double as well, with the limited chances that he has had at this stage of the season, as that one's kept in by Knezovic. But linesman deeming that he went out before he touched it back. Obviously both sides coming off the back of goalless losses. The Western Sydney Wanderers going down at home last Saturday. Bit of an altercation to that. An altered fixture, I should say. Not an altercation. There's nothing that went wrong in that game. It was 2-0 loss to the Wollongong Wolves, while St. George Saints going down 5-0 to RPL Leichhardt in what would be Jane Talsevsky's last game in charge of the club that he got promoted to this competition with. And it's been a pretty disappointing run of form for the Saints, has to be said, because we know what they're capable of when they've got all men on deck. So Aidan O'Shea's put through, and Spang had a little dust up there with Kalina. Little handshake will solve that one though, but it's offside in the end. It's going to be a free kick the way of the Western Sydney Wanderers. You just look at the last couple of results for the Saints. 5-0 loss to RPL last week, as we mentioned, then a 0-0 draw with Sydney United at the Sydney United Sports Centre in a game that they really, they should have won. They had a fantastic chance just shy of the first half break. Connor Quilligan is denied with a sensational goal line clearance it was by Liam McGinn. Had Oliver Kalach beaten, and McGinn out of absolutely nowhere stopped the goal, and looking back at it now in hindsight, saved 3 points for his side, and they had to settle for a draw there. The week before that, it was a 2-0 loss to their rival, St. George City, and then it was a 4-1 loss to their other local rivals, if you will, Rockdale or Linden. 4-1 they went down there, and then a bit of a shock 2-1 loss to Sydney FC the week before that, and then a 3-0 loss to Blacktown. That's their last 5. Only 2 goals coming from it. And conceding more than they would like. They've had a few changes in and out. They've changed keepers, they've changed centre-backs. They've had Troy Danaskos in for the first couple, out for the next, but he's back this week on the bench and will likely feature at some stage in the second half, you'd imagine. The star of this team, St. George Saints. Obviously, they're one before that, a 3-3 draw with the Central Coast Mariners, so haven't really had much luck in their last couple against academy sides in this competition. Even the last time these two sides played was a 4-2 win the way of the Western Sydney Wanderers, but at that stage of the season, Western Sydney could really beat anyone, so they had their stars on display that day. Zach Sapsford bagging a double, and it was Blair and Battlado, the other 2 goal scorers. The Saints, Troy Danaskos on the score sheet that day as well. So their last goal prior to Casella's strike in the first minute there was Jesse Spang on June 12th, which was in the 4-1 loss to Rockdale Linden. So plenty of positives to come from the first half here for the Saints. They've snapped a 3-game goalless streak, and they're looking good in attack. The last 2 or 3 minutes, however, has been dominated by the Wanderers, who themselves have had their struggles very well documented. The former league leaders stunned absolutely everyone at the start of the season, and their last win came well over a month ago. It was June 1st, a 2-0 win over Hills United at home. But since then, they've gone a 3-2 loss to Rockdale Linden, 5-3 loss to the Wolves, 1-0 loss to the Northwest Sydney Spirit, and a 2-0 loss last week to the Wolves as well. 5-3 loss. Sorry, a 3-0 loss to Sydney FC the week before that in the Academy Derby. One of the marquee fixtures of this competition. Sydney then went on to play here the next week and lost 4-0 to Marconi. So this competition just keeps throwing up surprises. That's why we love it so much. It's just a thrilling, thrilling competition here. Seconds away from the halftime break here. Casella's been put through, cuts it back on the left. Jaden Casella through the legs, falls to the edge of the box now. Back to Casella, gets past 1, gets past 2, but he can't get past. There's Kalina there in the end who made the stop. And a slip from Luau gives them a chance to work something back through O'Shea. His pass was intended for Spang, but he was a bit flat-footed, thought it was going the other way, and the Wanderers looking to attack, but Sidhu is going to collect that one, and his pass sparking a counter-attack now for the Wanderers. Can they go into the break up 2-1? Out wide to Gigliotti. 1 minute of injury time to play here at the Rockdale Linden Sports Centre. Cameron's ball in, gets past Siren. Falls to Sandy. Pulling out all the tricks. Neuenhoff. Cameron covering for Hollingsdale. Now Neuenhoff playing puppet master in the middle, stringing this midfield together. Devine. Kalina just comfortably playing it back. Ricky Franson inviting Kalina to go forward a bit. Kalina looks over the top. Gigliotti can't get to it. Cito, his head is only as far as Cameron. First time flick to Luau. And that was a good little work there from Gigliotti. Oh, sorry, it was Knezovic. Gigliotti out on the right there. Knezovic with the first time flick to Luau. And that's going to be the final play of the first half. After an insane opening 3 minutes to this game, it is 1-1 at the Rockdale Linden Sports Centre. Join us back here on the Football New South Wales live stream in 15 minutes time for the second half. But in the meantime, feel free to treat yourself to the final moments of the first half of St George City versus Sydney FC. We'll be back very shortly. Welcome back. The second half of action here. The St. George FC Saints taking on the Western Sydney Wanderers. 1-1 here, second half underway. And doesn't look like we're going to have a similar start to the first half unless Spain can get on the other end of this. What a wild start to the game we had. If you're just joining us and you haven't seen, feel free to go back and watch the first 2 minutes of this clash, but don't skip a beat after the first whistle, because the Wanderers opened the scoring basically in the first minute through Ryan Hollingsdale as Luau went for a shot and I think he inadvertently got caught up with a cluster of St. George Saints in defence. Won his side a free kick at the edge of the area and Ryan Hollingsdale fired it into the back of the net. But on the following counter-attack after the kickoff, the Saints fired back immediately through Jaden Casella. Just a wild start to the game. So things look to be a little bit calmer to start this one. No changes to report on for either side. We did see vision at halftime, however, of the other game, Rockdale-Linden, with their 2-1 win over the Northwest Sydney Spirit, and it was one of their favourite sons, Blake Rashudo, who scored a brilliant header in the dying stages of that game against a 9-man Northwest Sydney Spirit side. Casella tried to flick that one in, but the linesman ruling that one out well before the Wanderers could go the other way with it. So no cards in the first half, no substitutions to report on as of yet, although I do see an unfamiliar face out there on the left, so there might be one to report on. I may be telling lies, but regardless. Back to the action now. Knezovic. Good stop there by Rodic. And the Saints aren't happy with that one, saying, oh, ball. Did look like a pretty nasty challenge, that one, from Rodic. And he had his friend there, Brown, telling the referee in the middle how he felt about that one as well, but not budging. Much Tabata Ibrahimi, the man in the middle. Let's see. Aranath Gobanath and Lachlan Hines running the lines for this game as Siren punches that away and Knezovic recovers it for the Wanderers. And our fourth official, Charbel Ageha, man who refereed the under-20s game before with the Saints, got up 4-3 with a last minute, literally last play of the game winner. We're hoping for some similar action here, either way, at the Rockdale-Linden Sports Centre. So the Wanderers looked good in spurts throughout that first half. They did find themselves behind in terms of possession and attacking chances throughout, you'd say, the first 20 minutes or so. It was the Saints who dominated that regard, but the back end of the first half was all Western Sydney, and they'll be looking to bring a bit of that momentum here into the early stages of the second. It's been pretty heavily in the favour of the hosts, though. Early ball through to Casella. He's only got one man to beat here, Jaden Casella. Gets it onto his left between the legs, but it's Vidakovic. No real problems for him. He had both sides covered, and it falls straight down his chest. And an easy clean up there for the Western Sydney Wanderers keeper as Ricky Franson the other way now. Early pass out wide. It's Jesse Cameron. Ryan Devine, I should say. Looking for the early pass to Knezovic. It's intercepted, and Hollingsdale now, the skipper, building it the other way for the Wanderers. Gigliotti, early ball to Luau. His touch is a little bit sloppy, and Patrick O'Shea's there to clean it up. Spang with the early header. There was a few appeals for pushing the back there from Ricky Franson. Not today, though. And the Wanderers regather and recoup. Look to go forward. It's an unfamiliar sight, considering how this first half started and the form of both sides. An early ball there. Foot out there for the Saints was Brown. Cedo had calls for it there from Souris in the middle. Went to go for Casella down the left, and they've gone there plenty of times with plenty of success this game. But Gigliotti now the other way for the Wanderers. Ball in the middle, early header from Darlow. But an easy save there in the end for Mackenzie Siren. Cameron wins it from the goal kick. Headed back. It's a bit of football tennis, but it's gone the way of the Saints. Early ball over the top. Casella trying to beat Vidak Kovic to it, but he's first to it. He's had a great outing, the young keeper. And rightfully so, getting a strong high five there from his centre-back, Ricky Franson. Darlow working it with O'Shea. Referee says it's a fair challenge. And the Saints, well, it's almost footballing karma sometimes there. The referee giving him a bit of an advantage, but the world always works itself out and he gets involved there inadvertently, the man in the middle. But happy to play on. Didn't have too much of an effect in it. Early ball in the middle. Cleared away by Colina. And Devine, trapped in a corner, goes down, and the referee calls a free kick, and they're not happy there on the furthest touchline, the supporters in the stands of the St. George Saints. A few early substitutes possibly for the Western Sydney Wanderers looking to be lined up. See one game going on simultaneously, and it is the other St. George City, going up against Sydney FC. It's a bit of rivals Rubik's Cube, if you will, because if you put the combinations one to the right, you'd have two fantastic derbies, the St. George Derby and the Academy Derby, the Western Sydney Derby, or the Sydney Derby between Western Sydney and Sydney FC. But that is 1-1 also. Sydney FC took an early lead there, but the host St. George City firing back in the 25th minute, and that is half-time there. So if you're joining us from that stream, welcome. This has been a thrilling contest to begin with. Two sides throwing just about everything forward in attack. There's been plenty of options, plenty of attacking chances. Defence is coming out on top over the last 40 minutes or so across the two halves. There's no movement on the St. George bench as of yet, but plenty of movement on the Wanderers side, and free kick here for the Wanderers just in line with the end of the halfway circle in the St. George half of play. But as you tend to see with these A-League Academy sides, a lot of sports science comes into play, and players restricted to a certain amount of minutes have to come off by a certain second. So expect to see all 5 of those substitutions used for the Western Sydney Wanderers. Plenty of options on the bench for Richie Cardozo. Plenty of experience options, which for academy sides at this level is a bit of a rarity, especially at this stage of the season when the mandatory breaks start to have their effect on the sides. Early header there from Darlow, trying to find Devine. Plays it back now. Neuenhoff, who had Quilligan there to welcome him for company. Switching sides now through Jesse Cameron. Deflected pass, Cito. It's funny, every time you call Cito's name, you hear him called out by his teammates a few other times. They love being on the receiving end of those passes from the St. George left back, as a botched clearance there by Mackenzie Siren, but it's cleaned up in the end there by Thomas Brown. So just running through the benches of both sides. Obviously, St. George rejoined by their usual captain, Troy Danaskos. They've also got attacking options in Peter Grossos and Harry Jones, and Anthony Morabito as well, and Yakov Malbasa, if they wish. And the Western Sydney Wanderers, Richie Cardozo on his bench. Matthew O'Donoghue, Lachlan Tilt, Dimo. As the ball in, goes over the head of Mackenzie Siren, and not much doing there, as he'll happily collect that for a goal kick. He finished out with number 23 Marcus Fernandez and Khan Nizam, who all featured in last week's 2-0 loss to the Wollongong Wolves. On the bench this week though, a few changes from the 6 days in between those clashes, or the 7 days in between those clashes I should say. Back to the action here through the Wanderers captain, it's Ryan Hollingsdale, and just happy to play it back now. It's Kulina. Franson, early ball over the top. Knezovic had 2 Saints there to meet him, but the ball falls out to Gigliotti. Knezovic again. Luau's first to it, and out wide now. First time effort across the face, a goal, and it just skimmed past the back post, and the Wanderers fire their first shot of the second half. in a very advanced position there. Could be mistaken, but it looked like it was Ryan Devine who added the overload on the left side there and just given him an option as Mackenzie Siren sends his side right and forward. Plenty of aerial options for the Saints. Probably have a pretty strong aerial advantage over the Wanderers, but there's only been 3 corners in this game, 2 to the Saints and 1 to the Western Sydney Wanderers. Darlow, the good little challenge there with Patrick O'Shea, and it's the Saints captain who comes out on top. Caligeru sliding on the ground, does very well to maintain possession and reigniting an attack here for the hosts. Souris, possession coughed up there, and the Wanderers regathering it. But Vidakovic under plenty of pressure and getting it away very early there to Colina. Back now to Devine. Devine trying to get past O'Shea, and O'Shea showing him the sideline. Colina's got 3 or 4 to get past. Goes for the early option in Darlow. And now the Wanderers with a bit of breathing room coming out of the back, and that's going to be a big sigh of relief for Richie Cardoso and his coaching staff just in front of us here in the Rockdale Linden commentary box. Beautiful view of this ground and the Rockdale CBD, if you will. Gigliotti early pass, try to find Knezovic, but it's Thomas Brown who cleared it away. It's worked out well, but Brown's there again on clean-up duty. Jesse Cameron with the early pass to Hollingsdale. Plenty of calls of Dallow out there. They wanted the pass, they didn't get it, but it should work out fine for the Wanderers. Neuenhoff, his touch is heavy, but he keeps it in well. Thomas Brown with the calm touch. And the back and forth nature of this second half continuing here. The Saints now with their chance to go forward. Both sides utilising the wings very much so. Cito. Keto's been a pretty good replacement the last 3 weeks for Troy Danaskos. Obviously hard to replicate his impact on any game, attacking and defensive wise. Long ball over the top now, Jesse Spang. He's got Franson there to meet him. Plays a wayward ball back, but pretty good recovery in the end there, looked like, from Aiden O'Shea. Playing a quick little 1-2 with Caligeru. And try to find his way back, but it was Devine first to it. Brown 1-on-1 against Knezovic, and the Wanderers youngster wins that battle in the air. Quilligan wins it back, and his teammates are spurring him forward now. Jaden Casella has options in the middle. Has to get past Cameron. Plays it now to the man who started it all. Quilligan's ball almost found the head of O'Shea. They're calling for a corner. It's not going to work out for them. It's going to be a goal kick for the Western Sydney Wanderers and a double substitution now. So Luau, who had a really good start to this game, is going to make way for the number 19, Dimo, and number 35, Khan Nizam, coming on as well. And it's Knezovic, so a double attacking change. So Dimo and Marcus Fernandez as the 1-2 punch through the centre for the Wanderers, and still looks like Gigliotti out there on the right. And Ryan Devine will have Sandy Darlow for company there on the left as the Wanderers win a free kick in pretty dangerous territory. So Dimo almost playing as the similar role that we've seen Knezovic play as a false 9 in attack, but a 10 dropping back when need be. And Khan Nizam coming on as well, was cross deflected there. Quick go at it there from Dimo. Early ball in from Quilligan. The header is not on target, and it's a pretty comfortable goal kick in the end there for Vidakovic as St. George Saints lining up a substitute. Looks like it's going to be Harry Jones coming on as One of the coaches here on the sideline appears to be giving almost instructions to the fourth official to let him know, hey, I'm going to be bringing off a right-sided player here, so get ready for that one. Never seen that before. First time for everything, as they say. So it doesn't look like too much debate on that one. It's going to be a Western Sydney throw. So the substitution is going to be Aiden O'Shea coming off, and Anthony Morabito will be playing as the right-sided attacking midfielder, if you will. Quilligan as the number 10. Jesse Spang still in the striking position. And on the left wing, Jaden Casella. Whilst Patrick O'Shea, the captain, occupies that number 6 role. Alongside Evan Souris. In a 4-2-3-1, which they've almost forced themselves into, down a few centre-backs at the moment, the Saints, and obviously without Danaskos, he's arguably the best wing-back in this competition. It's pretty hard to play that, 5/3 at the back without him. But let's see if that formation changes, if they choose to bring him on in his return game here, first game in 3 weeks for the St. George Saints star. Winning back possession there was Patrick O'Shea, and it's coughed up by Casella. A bit of miscommunication there with his number 7, Jesse Spang. Plenty of time to play it out the back here for the Western Sydney Wanderers. 2 new faces on the field for them, Khan Nizam and Dimo. Good for the early pass. Sandy Darlow, who's drifted into the middle here. Early ball over the top, but it's going to go out. Offside, apologies, didn't go out there. Seeing the flag and I got a little bit too excited there. Free kick the way of the Wanderers. Plenty of motivation coming out of the back there from the Saints back line. They're under the pump a little bit here. These 2 subs for the Wanderers has given them a little spring in their step. Gigliotti, first time to Cameron. It's out for a throw, but it's still dangerous territory. It was Nizam with his first attacking chance of the game there. Dimo. And resetting now the Wanderers. Ricky Franson. Roman Colina. They've held possession here for the last couple of minutes, the Wanderers, which is an unfamiliar sight. They were playing a fast counter-attacking style in the first, and the change of style, the change of attacking mentality has seemed to work, but it's going to be a goal kick for the Saints. They baited plenty of fouls in the first there, but it's slowed off a little bit over those last couple of minutes, and the Saints very lucky, or very unlucky, I should say, to not have found the back of the net on a couple of occasions there, but this game's been very back and forth. You just never know what's going to happen, especially after the wild start that we had here. Early pass, Dimore through the middle, first time, lofted over the frame of the goal. It was never really going to trouble Siren there. Looked good at first, but again, this zippy surface playing its part. Pretty damp out there, although we haven't had rain in a couple of hours anyway. Dig deep, the call there from the Saints. And they might have to break this sturdy defence of the Western Sydney Wanderers here. We have resumption of play there in the second half. St George City and Sydney FC still tied at 1 goal apiece. So this clash here, as every minute ticks past, looming towards the same result really. Bit of a argy-bargy there in the middle of the park, and looks like it was brought to ground in the middle there. The skipper, Ryan Hollinsdale, having his say to the referee, telling him he was dragged down, but it's going to be a free kick his way. Four minutes to go now. Franson. Touch is heavy, picked up by Casella, but Jesse Cameron coughs it up as well. And the early ball over the top. 0 to heroes, Jesse Cameron clears it away. Cito's first to it though. Quilligan's very deep here. Resetting now to Brown. Rodic had to work very hard to get past Dimmo there. Worked out good for the end. In the end there for the Saints. Casella thought about the first time cross. Goes the short option, falls at the edge there. Fantastic save by Vidac Kovic. The follow-up goes in, but the flag is up. And the Saints momentarily in the lead. Denied just as quickly by the linesman. And once again, a fantastic save by Vidac Kovic. He's had an absolute blinder tonight. Saving him from everywhere. That ball fell perfectly at the end there. Looked like Souris had the first crack at it. And the follow-up into essentially an open net, but the linesman on the right side there had his eyes on it the whole time, caught it straight away, and the celebration's very, very brief there for the Saints. Would have been just their 4th goal in the last 6 matches. Only 2 in their last 6 leading up to this. And probably their earliest goal of the season, as looks like a double substitution being lined up here for the Saints. Troy Danaskos is going to make his return after a 2-week stint after getting married. Pretty valid excuse to miss a couple of weeks of football there. And the Saints captain. And it's going to be Yakov Malbasa as well. Both taking the bibs off and ready to go. Early ball was trying to find Dimmo, but Rodic is first to it, and he's making an attacking go at it here, Mark Rodic, but Jesse Cameron gets a foot to it, and the Wanderers will recover possession here. There's a nice little touch there by the assistant of the Saints. And Malbasa and Danaskos coming on here. Jesse Spang's going to make way, and Malbasa will run through the middle, and Troy Danaskos coming back on here, and it's Jaden Cito who's going to make way. Danaskos, like-for-like substitution here. The skipper's back for the Saints. Fresh haircut to return to mark his return to the Saints here, Troy Danaskos. Early ball was on for Dimmo. He had to retract his run to stay on side, and that was to the detriment there of Roman Colina. Still thought it was on. So Quilligan will now have Malbasa for company up top. And you really got to hope that the Saints don't have a defensive injury, touch wood, because their options are becoming very, very thin now. We'll see with Kaio Degoro not in the matchday squad after appearing in just about every game this season for the Saints. And especially how tight it is in the bottom 5 positions at the moment. Every point could be crucial. They've got 1 at the moment, and you just never know looking back at it how crucial that could be. Chance here for the fresh substitute, Malbasa. He tried to flick it on there for Anthony Morabito, who drifted in from the right centrally. Wasn't meant to be, and the Wanderers will regather possession as a result. Great little 1-2 there. Hollinsdale sending Kazam through. Dimor. Darlow, Sandy, he's shot. Hits the net, but it's not the one you want to hit here at the Rockdale Linden Sports Centre, the one behind the goal. Got underneath it, and again, the long-range effort not troubling Mackenzie Siren. As the Western Sydney Wanderers line up 2 substitutions, is just off camera, Jaden Casella getting what looks like a bit of deep heat spray on the back. I think he copped a pretty nasty whack in the very early stages of the game. Got sandwiched between 2 Wanderers players going up for a header and landed directly on his back. And you got to think in these cold conditions, if you're not moving as much, could start to seize up a little bit and get a little bit cold. So just trying to get some heat and some movement into that back, and might be a tough sleep tonight for Jaden Casella after scoring the Saints equaliser in the 3rd minute of this clash. Great finish. Could have had another couple if not for the fantastic goalkeeping of Vidachkovic. Got to think he'll be going close for all 3 points on the match report, which will be seen on the Football New South Wales socials and websites momentarily after full time here. As another double substitution being lined up here. It's O'Donoghue likely going to come on. Number 3 jersey, and he will be joined by Marcus Fernandez in the number 23 shirt. Franson now. Plenty of time to play it out the back here, Hollinsdale. Under a bit of pressure now. Malbasser and co push forward. Darlow Sandy finds a gap through the middle. Dimor with the first time ball. It's deflected away from Danaskos, but possession recovered for the time being for the Saints. A heavy touch is only as far as Hollinsdale, but possession coughed up there by Khan Nizam. It's going to go back the way of the Wanderers though. Morabito beaten for pace there by Devine, who's started off the game under the pump, but he's looked really comfortable in the last hour or so of play here. Trapped in a corner, what can he do here? Ryan Devine. Flick out, and he's coughed up possession. Was hoping that there was a winger there waiting for him, but it's the sideline, and it's the St. George Saints regaining possession from the throw here. Quilligan lofts a pass across in the middle. Vidachkovic, plenty of time to think about it and plenty of time to gobble that one up. Wanderers with the ball back now. So Marcus Fernandez, Matthew O'Donoghue going to come on at the next available out, you'd assume. Triangle pass here, and it's Neuenhoff with the ball now. Franson picks out Darlow Sandy through the legs of Danaskos. Was Gigliotti, and he's working hard here to get back. That's a great stop by Nicholas Calageru. En route to goal was Khan Nizam, and it's going to be a card here. Late challenge, stop the attack. Ryan Devine goes into the book. First card of the game, and the double substitution now for the Western Sydney Wanderers. Devine, apologies, not Devine. Gigliotti's going to be replaced by Marcus Fernandez. And Devine, moments after going into the referee's book, planned or unplanned, we won't really know. But O'Donoghue is going to replace Ryan Devine on the left, who got through plenty of work today. So Matthew Donoghue occupying the left back role now, and it seems to be a bit of a shift in attack for the Wanderers. We'll get back to that after this attack here. Patrick O'Shea. Out wide, Calageru with a nice touch. Back into a bit of space. It's Morabito. Cuts in, and now Thomas Brown. Danaskos. The Wanderers win possession back now. Hollinsdale over the sliding challenge of Danaskos. Dimor first time to the substitute. It's Marcus Fernandez with his first touch of the ball in the middle. Great header away. Mark Rodic. And it's a corner for the Wanderers. Only their second of the game. What can they conjure up from here? And that attacking shift seemed to work wonders. And looks like Dimor's moved out to the right. And Marcus Fernandez possibly occupying the number 9 role. But didn't look like it in that attack. Obviously, things change in a situation like that. But Ryan Hollingsdale had already shown what he can do from the set piece earlier in the game. The skipper's cross at the back stick. Stabbed at it was Franson, but a pretty easy save in the end there by Mackenzie Siren. Seems like a bit of a common theme of his second half here, the Saints keeper. He's had plenty of work to do, but a lot of those shots just either falling pretty well clear of his target or pretty easily into his reach, but still plenty of movement, plenty of distributing out from the back. He's had a good day. First time effort, deflected away and in! What a strike that was! Nizam puts the Wanderers back in the lead, and they are on track for their first win in over a month. The substitute strikes a deflection that the Saints could do absolutely nothing about. And the Western Sydney Wanderers now lead 2-1. Khan Nizam. The original strike didn't look too dangerous, but looked like it hit possibly the head or shoulder of Mark Rodic. Nothing you could do there. Siren had already committed to the back stick, and the deflection sends it to an open net at the front. And the Saints have a bit of work to do now. And a nice little gesture there from Patrick O'Shea. As soon as Troy Danaskos made his return to the pitch, he has now given him the captain's armband. You love to see a good little bit of respect there between two teammates. Now the Wanderers on the attack again. Jesse Cameron. Early ball, but it's a great stop by Rodic, and the other way was trying to send Morabito through was Souris. Not meant to be, and the Wanderers with another chance to attack. How crucial could that goal be? Looking back at it in the race for survival in the National Premier League's New South Wales men's competition in 2024. It's masterful substitution from Richie Cardozo. As Siren clears it, you hear a loud bang as that smashes against the roof. No, just fallen short here at the Rockdale Linden Sports Centre. Other game in progress, not too far from here as well. The St. George City FA against the rivals of the Western Sydney Wanderers, the Sydney FC NPL side. Give you a score update on that momentarily as well, as a throw in here for the Wanderers in dangerous territory. So that game still 1-1 in the 66th minute as we head down to crunch time here at Rockdale. Ten minutes or so to go of regulation. Not many stoppages, so you'd imagine there wouldn't be too much injury time to be added, as the Saints struggling to get it out of their own end here. The goal scorer, Khan Nizam, amongst those involved. Sandy Darlow as well, trying to keep him in, and they've won possession back here. Plenty of men in the air, and it's a long clearance by Kalajeru. Jesse Cameron heads it back to Vidakovic. And playing around with it a little bit there. He's pretty confident in his own ability, the Wanderers goalkeeper, but Yakov Malbasa thinking he had a chance there possibly. And just wasting that little bit more energy from Jaden Casella is the goalkeeper, Vidakovic. Open space now for Neuenhoff. Pays it early to Dimo, who is transferred out to the right side of this Wanderers attack. Marcus Fernandez almost leading the attack with Sandy Darlow in the middle. And the goal scorer, the game winner for the time being, Khan Nizam on the left of this front four for the Wanderers. Now the Saints the other way. Danaskos with the early ball. Malbasa with a good little battle there with Franson trying to win it back and trusting his goalkeeper with Vidakovic. Hasn't made a mistake so far this game. He's been absolutely phenomenal between the sticks for the Wanderers. You've got to think where they would be without him in this game. He's been absolutely sensational. Short little pass from O'Shea. It's Casella that went down. And it's going to be a yellow card to the skipper, Ryan Hollingsdale. Second yellow card of the game for the goal scorer. Richie Cardoso on the sideline here, not too impressed with that, to say the least. But a brilliant opportunity for the Saints here, probably 7 or 8 metres away from where Hollingsdale opened the scoring in the opening minute of this clash. Great effort, it's in the back of the net! What a finish from range! And the Saints have equalised in this one. It is 2 goals apiece. What a finish by Jaden Casella. He's got his second of the game, and that is some strike. Jaden Casella with almost no celebration. How did he keep his cool from there? That is one of the best strikes of this season. From distance, left Vidakovic flat-footed. He thought that was going out. Early strike, Vidakovic is off his line. It's not too far off in the end there. And the confidence is flowing now for the Saints. What a strike from Jaden Casella. He's got all the Saints goals today. And you could just tell the confidence that his teammates had in him. No one even bothered to have a debate with him about what he should do. They all stepped away. He knew what he was going to do straight away, and he left the net bulging. And the Saints will get another free kick here. Calogero is going to take this one as a crossing opportunity, you'd assume. Just about everyone forward. Mark Rodic is the only one back for the Saints, but the Wanderers throwing everyone back, trying to salvage a point. Be their first one in over 6 games. Been on a disappointing run of form after starting the season red hot. I want to take something from this game, but the Saints looking to steal all 3 crucial points here. Calogero on free kick duty now. Calogero's ball in the middle. Back stick, it's an open O'Shea. Calls for a penalty because it was deflected away from the goal. There was no one at the back stick, and reset chance here. Souris gets it past Cameron. His touch is very heavy, but the deflection from Cameron in the end is enough to put it away for a corner. 4th of the game for the Saints. Final substitution being lined up as well. It's going to be Peter Grossos coming on. The set piece specialist, Jaden Casella, on this one. Dangerous ball, forced to the edge of the area. Calogero forced a good save out of Vidakovic. He was going the right way, but it was a little bit too close to his reach for the Saints right back. And Danaskos trying to clear that, headers it backwards. Brown's there to clean it up. Danaskos first time, that's a great ball. Malbasa just off balance a little bit and couldn't contain that one, and the Wanderers with a chance to go the other way now. Neuenhoff. Early ball, Dimor. Good clearance there by Thomas Brown. Him and Rodic have had a great game. The newfound centre-back pairing for the Saints as Substitution here is Peter Grossos coming on for the midfielder, Evan Souris. So Grossos in the middle of the park now, but can definitely provide an attacking flair as Cameron with the long throw. Dimor's header's only as far as Quilligan, and his clearance as he was held back by an offside player, and it's going to be a free kick for the Saints. So benches are cleared out. We've got a couple of minutes left here, and do not go anywhere if you've been watching this. 4 minutes to go. 2 goals apiece. 2 goals to Jaden Casella for the Saints, and it's Ryan Hollingsdale and Khan Nizam who are the goal scorers for the Western Sydney Wanderers. Danaskos telling his centre-backs to get up over halfway, possibly playing an offside trap to stop the counter-attack, and they've lost possession from the goal kick. Throw in the way of the Western Sydney Wanderers. Long throw again from Cameron. Darlo Sandy try to keep it in, but it's going to be a throw for the Saints, and it's Danaskos that takes it, and an early clearance cleared away the other way by Franson. Falling pretty good here for Nizam. First time effort. Never really going to trouble Mackenzie Siren with that. Goal kick for the Saints. Siren fooled everyone with that quick play to Calagiero, and it's given the Saints plenty of room out here on the right. Morabito's cross. Casella's there looking for a hat-trick. Casella, could that be the chance that goes begging, and 3 points that goes begging for the Saints? Jaden Casella didn't think it was going to fall for him, and off balance, did his best to get a shot off there. Didn't trouble Vidackovic. And now pushing numbers forward is the Saints. Thomas Brown. Mackenzie Siren. Wastes little time trying to pick out Morabito. And the headers fall into Malvasa. Morabito's through. Anthony Morabito's been taken down. Referee waves it off. A get out of jail free card there for the Wanderers. They're going to have to strike soon, because either way, the Saints are knocking on the door, the Wanderers are knocking on the door. I don't think this game's going to end in a draw. Neuenhoff had too many Saints to get past there, and a bit of deflection pinball. It's going to fall the way of the Saints. Flags up, and it's a foul for the Saints. Looked like offside at first, but Morabito issued a yellow card there by the referee. Possibly for his actions earlier, but it's the Saints free kick, and the last couple of chances going their way, the hosts. Just about everyone forward as per the program. Mark Rodic, the only one back. Calagiero once again on crossing duties. 2 at the edge of the box. 5 going in. Ball in from Danaskos. Almost fell perfectly there to Casella again, but cleared away only as far as Rodic. They're calling for a player down, and the play will finally stop. The Wanderers were calling for a handball, but Patrick O'Shea down. The Saints were calling for play to stop. Either way, crucial seconds ticking off the clock for both sides. Just a kick in the guts for either side to lose this game. The Saints have looked the better of the two sides in the last 10 minutes, but the Wanderers opened up the second half, looking very promising in attack, and after a couple of substitutions, dominated the attacking chances, but ever since the reintroduction of their captain, Troy Danaskos, off the bench, it's been a pretty strong end to the second half for the Saints. So the fourth official indicating here 5 minutes of injury time to be added on. The conclusion of regulation here. Patrick O'Shea still down, having a chat with the referee. Should be okay to continue. I don't believe the Saints can call another stoppage for a substitution. Already made all three. Yakov Malbasa, Troy Danaskos, Anthony Morabito, all being brought on, along with Peter Grossos. So a bit of blood on O'Shea. He's got the forehead taped up like the old rugby league 90s style. And he's going to need a new, essentially a new playing kit if he wants to continue here. That's the word from Peter Grossos on the sideline, who's running back and forth. But luckily for them, they do have something ready for him at least. Fourth official confirming that. It's 10 minutes to go in the clash between St. George City and Sydney FC, and it's Sydney FC taking a lead in that one, and that is crucial if they can hold on to that win in the grand scheme of survival here, because if they win this one, they can go 6 points clear of the Sutherland Sharks. See the Sharks with a game in hand. A lot of teams with a game in hand. Obviously the wild weather in Sydney playing its part. Plenty of make-up games to be played. RPA Leichhardt and Central Coast, one of those that you'll see midweek after a couple of washouts. So O'Shea, he's taped up and ready to go for the final couple of minutes of injury time here. He's going to have to take the kit off to get back out there. He's going to want to do that very fast because 2 minutes ago they called 5 minutes. You'd assume that'll be added on. So just under 5 minutes of play. And Mark Rodich gets it back underway. Can the Saints steal it at the death? You can just sense this game might just have one more twist to it. Are the Wanderers going to have the final say? Neuenhoff. Casella letting him know he's there. Dimor. Danaskos wins it back, but he's cleared it straight to Neuenhoff. There's a chance here for the Wanderers. Dimor gets onto it first time across the face of goal. Mark Rodich heads it away. And a corner for the Wanderers now. So O'Shea's on in the number 10 kit now of Harry Jones. Hollingsdale, what could be the final corner of the game for the Western Sydney Wanderers? The skipper's cross at the front stick, cleared away, looked like it might have hit a hand of a Wanderer, but it's spattered over halfway. O'Donoghue's there. Hollingsdale's got a couple options out on his left and goes the near side. Dimor's got pace to burn and will get there first. Saving the blushes of his skipper there. Marcus Fernandez fakes the cross with his right. Goes short to Dimor. Back out to Fernandez. First time cross at the back stick. Hit on the volley. Calls for a handball. Waved off by the referee. Falls now to Sandy. Can't get his shot off. And Anthony Morabito now with his chance to show him what he's got on the counter-attack. And O'Donoghue's fouled him, stopping the counter-attack. And that's going to put him in the referee's book with a yellow card. Taken quickly by Calageru. A little juggle there after the heavy touch, and it's going to be a throw for the Wanderers. This game on an absolute knife's edge. Throw-in taken quickly and cleared away by the Saints, so right back the way of the visitors. O'Donoghue now to Hollingsdale. Pushing forward the right back, Jesse Cameron. Early ball, and this is great football. Dimor was out wide with plenty of space, and Danaskos gets a toe to it. Another corner for the Wanderers in injury time here.
First contact on the ball, man.
Just about everyone forward. Hollingsdale, could he pick out Franson or Kalina? At the front stick, cleared away by O'Shea. Falls to Sandy. O'Donoghue. Cross in, headed into the back of the net, but the flag's up. Looked pretty clear at the time. And that 3 points for the Wanderers in a blink of an eye, taken away. Early ball over the top, trying to pick out Dimo and Kazam. It's not meant to be. And this one seemingly going to end in a draw. It was Franson's header. Or Neuenhoff, apologies. That got his head on it, but looked pretty clear from up here at first that it was offside. And the linesman didn't waste any time, put those celebrations to halt very quickly. So both sides having a goal ruled out due to the linesman on either side of the half here. So even if you count those, it would still be level here at the Rockdale Linden Sports Centre. One final push for the Saints. Casella. Danaskos. First time cross. Bouncing into the area and cleared away by Neuenhoff. Seconds desperately ticking away. O'Shea evaluates his options. He's got no one. Plays it back to Thomas Brown. Quickly switching it to Rodic. Rodic cuts in. Intercepted by Neuenhoff, and Morabito had to do the dirty work there. He's going to go into the book. Anthony Morabito. Free kick taken quickly for the Wanderers. Possession switched up over the top. It's a header from Brown. It's fallen perfectly to Patrick O'Shea. Doesn't waste any time clearing it away, and Franson heads it right back. Peter Grossos in a bit of a challenge there with Neuenhoff in the middle, and it's gone the way of the Saints midfielder. Free kick just before halfway now for the hosts. And that's going to be the final play of the game. It's ended 2-2 here at the Rockdale Linden Sports Centre. A thrilling start and an even more fascinating end. But both sides are going to have to settle for a draw. It's 2 goals apiece. 2 goals to Jaden Casella for the Saints. It was Ryan Hollingsdale for the Western Sydney Wanderers, who opened the scoring with an absolutely sensational free kick. No one could see that coming, that start. And then obviously answered right back by Jaden Casella. Casella then with the second of the goals for the Saints as well. The pick of the bunch, a sensational free kick. But then for the Western Sydney Wanderers, off the bench, it was Khan Nizam who levelled proceedings. But that's how it's going to end. Thank you very much for joining us here on the Football New South Wales YouTube page. Feel free to switch over to the St George City and Sydney FC, the final minutes of that clash. I've been Dominic Crenidi. Please join us back at 3 o'clock tomorrow. You've got 3 games, and then the final game of the round at Lambert Park with the RPLI card at 5:30, and plenty of women's action as well tomorrow. So thank you for joining us again, and enjoy the rest of your Saturday night. Thank you.